In a surprise move that rattled geopolitical observers, Russian President Vladimir Putin held a confidential meeting with Ali Larijani, the top nuclear advisor to Iran's supreme leader, inside the Kremlin on Sunday. This unannounced encounter comes at a tense moment. Just last month, the United States joined Israel in a large-scale bombing campaign targeting Iranian military infrastructure following a suspected Iranian proxy attack on Western assets in the Gulf. Despite its strategic alliance with Tehran, Moscow held back from overt support until now. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov confirmed the meeting but offered limited detail. He said Larijani had conveyed Iran's assessment of the rapidly deteriorating security situation in the Middle East and the mounting tensions around its nuclear program. Putin, in turn, reportedly reiterated Russia's position: political resolution over military escalation. Why now? That's the question analysts are asking. Russia and Iran have enjoyed strong ties for decades, bonded by mutual opposition to Western sanctions and shared military cooperation in Syria. But Russia's response to the US-Israel bombing campaign was unusually muted. Many believed Putin was weighing his options carefully, possibly to avoid provoking further instability during a volatile election season at home. Yet this sudden engagement signals a shift. Some speculate Russia is positioning itself as a broker, or at least a balancer, in the next phase of Iran's nuclear future. Adding to the intrigue, European diplomacy is reactivating. On the same day as the Kremlin meeting, a German source confirmed that Britain, France, and Germany plan to restart nuclear talks with Iran in the coming days. Tehran's state-affiliated Tasnim news agency echoed this, stating Iran had already agreed to the dialogue. This coincides with a story from US outlet Axios, which claimed Putin had urged Iran to accept a deal limiting uranium enrichment. Russia forcefully denied the report, labeling it misinformation. But the very need to deny it underscores the level of uncertainty swirling around the nuclear negotiations. Iran has long insisted its atomic ambitions are peaceful. It argues that its enrichment activities are within the rights granted by the Non-Proliferation Treaty. However, the West remains deeply skeptical, especially after the collapse of the 2015 nuclear agreement, known as the JCPOA, under the Trump administration. Russia, a signatory to that deal, has consistently backed Iran's right to civilian nuclear energy. But with tensions flaring and global energy routes increasingly at risk, Moscow may now be calculating that nuclear diplomacy is the best route to maintaining regional influence without direct confrontation. The stakes couldn't be higher. If diplomacy fails, the Middle East could edge closer to a wider war. And if Iran decides to push the limits of its nuclear program, the response from Israel and the US will likely be swift and severe. Putin's meeting with Larijani may not be the beginning of a breakthrough, but it's a signal. Russia is no longer just watching from the sidelines. As Europe re-enters the negotiating room and the West weighs its next moves, the coming weeks could determine whether the Iranian nuclear question moves toward resolution or detonation. Stay tuned.